Getting injured. Man, getting hurt is buns, and chances are you know exactly why. Just dealing with the pain afterwards is absolutely miserable depending on the severity of the injury. Sometimes it's a small enough injury that you can just simply put a band-aid over it and go about your day, but then some other times it's so bad that you end up needing to go to the hospital. Now, no matter who you are or where you're from, I'm confident that you can relate to getting injured, so in this video, we're going to be covering dumb ways that I've been injured before. Now, this is a dumb injury that I still keep getting to this day, and it is that whenever I'm doing baking of some sort, whether that be cookies, cupcakes, cinnamon buns, one thing stays certain, that the baking's usually pretty good, but also that I always manage to burn myself. I've taken pretty much every single precaution that I possibly can, and yet I still find a way, and it's only when I'm baking too. For example, a couple weeks ago, I decided I wanted to bake some nice fall cinnamon buns. I bake them, everything goes good. I put on some oven mitts, I take out the tray from the oven, and I let them cool down, right? All seems good. Until for some unknown brain-dead reason, I decide to take off the oven mitts, but before I leave the room, to move the burning hot tray to the counter. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Guess That Injury! This imbecile decided it was a good idea to grab a burning hot tray without any oven mitts. Can we guess what happens next? Did he A, completely obliterate his hands, B, drop the tray on his toe, or C, all of the above? Get your guesses ready. The answer was, yeah, it was C. I ended up destroying not only my hands, but my toes! Like I said earlier, this isn't the only time something like this has happened. Another time, I decided it was a good idea to grab a cookie tray straight out of the oven with nothing but a piece of paper towel. Guess how that ended? Pretty poorly. Another time when checking if banana bread was cooked or not, I accidentally touched the side of the oven when it was turned on, and that burned my hand too. The holiday season is right around the corner. We have Thanksgiving and Christmas where I'm going to be baking a lot of cookies and pies, so I really need to be careful, but I'm pretty much already buckling down at the fact that I know my hands are going to be absolutely obliterated. The best piece of advice I can give is make sure to wear oven mitts and to be extra careful, but it seems that I can't even follow my own advice. Okay, let's talk about this one. Cutting your nail too short. This is by far one of the most overlooked injuries I think I've ever had in my life. It's something that I tend to accidentally do a lot more than I should. Like, you're just in the middle of cutting your nails, and then you cut that one nail, and you know when you did it, even before it starts hurting. And that's the reason why this is one of the worst injuries, is because at first, it doesn't hurt, but over the next 2 or 3 days, it slowly starts to get worse and worse until eventually you can't ignore it anymore. Sure, you can continue your day-to-day life, but no matter how much you try, you can never ignore the fact that your thumb is in excruciating pain. Eventually, yeah, your nail does grow back and the pain goes away until you inevitably do it again within the next couple weeks. That is something that no matter how much I try and avoid it, it still happens anyways. But you know what's even worse? Stubbing your toe. This is controversial, but I would say stubbing your toe is far worse than stepping on Lego. Stepping on Lego isn't fun by any means, not at all, but I would rather do that than stub my toe. The thing is that with stubbing your toe, the pain could either last 15 seconds or like 15 minutes, and it just aches so badly. It's such an intensely sharp pain, and the worst part is sometimes your nail ends up cracking. Every single time that I stub my toe, I immediately think of that disgustingly graphic scene from SpongeBob where Squidward's toe ends up getting completely eviscerated off of the face of the earth. Now, like I just said, stepping on Lego isn't fun, but I think probably the worst injury that I've ever had, at least on my foot, is I stepped on a charger, an iPhone charger. Around a year ago, I lost my iPhone charger and I couldn't find it anywhere. I looked all around the house for a good 30 minutes, and then eventually I stepped on something. And it hurt really bad, and I then look at my foot, and there's my iPhone charger, lodged into the bottom of my foot. I am not joking. This was probably one of the most painful experiences I've ever had in my life. This next injury was completely unavoidable and nobody can tell me differently. And I was doing something that I'm pretty sure everybody has done before, and that is jumping on the bed. Now, I'm assuming that everybody watching this video knows the tragic tales of the monkeys who are jumping on the bed and they happen to hit their head. Well, I should have taken that as a cautionary tale as to be careful, but I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings surroundings whatsoever. All I cared about was jumping on my bed and thinking that I could fly. And honestly, during this time, I had such high levels of adrenaline that I thought I was invincible until I felt a slight scratch on my arm, which scared me so much that I slip and fall, and in the process of that, I hit the back of my head on the corner of a dresser that was right beside the mattress. And as I'm laying down on the ground, I look at my arm and realize that there is a giant chunk of my skin missing. What surprises me the most is that I was in very little pain. I don't remember it really hurting at all. I remember when my mom was putting band-aids on me and cleaning me up, I looked at my arm, and then I just remember suddenly feeling really dizzy and then waking up out of the blue. And well, that's because it turns out that a couple moments before, I looked at my arm and ended up passing out. Luckily, everything did end up being okay, and it wasn't too bad of an injury in the grand scheme of things, but that still traumatized me, man. I still to this day haven't jumped on any beds because I'm still scared of nails poking out of the wall waiting to catch me. Like, bro, there is no way I'm taking any chances. Another injury that I got was when I was in gym class. This was back in school, and I want to say I was about 10, 11 years old, and we were doing something called the run test where we would run back and forth across the gym. The thing about this test is that absolutely nobody in the class enjoyed doing it, and everyone would find ways to get out of it, but there wasn't a way for me to get out of this test, unfortunately. My parents would never let me skip classes, so I decided just to suck it up and do the test. And as we're in the middle of doing the test, some kid slips and hits his head against the wall of the gym, and the gym wall was like made out of brick, so this clearly was a bad head injury. Obviously, the test is stopped halfway through, so the teacher has to tell the kid to go to the office and get an ice pack, do whatever. Basically, he sat out of the test, right? For some reason, I think it's a good idea to fake slipping and hitting my head on the wall. How I was going to accomplish this, I have absolutely zero idea. So up comes the next round, and we start running back and forth across the gym, and I decide now is my chance. So I fake slipping, falling, and hit my head. The only problem is that it wasn't fake. I really did end up hitting my head on the side of the gym wall. I remember for a second I sit there and then just start crying, bawling my eyes out in front of everybody in my class. The look on the teacher's face was unbelievable. It was almost as if she was thinking how kids could possibly be this unfathomably stupid. I thought my plan had worked so meticulously and I ended up getting away with it, but no. I just ended up, I don't know if it was a concussion, probably not, but don't try it out. That's a really dumb idea. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, yeah, let me know if you want a part 2, and yeah, that's about it. Bye. You know I'm just a slide away. If you want it, you can take a private plane. What the I can't pronounce that, bro.